Okay, let's dive in. If you spent, I don't know, any time on social media, you know exactly who I'm talking about, right? It's those same faces just popping up again and again, holding court on every single topic you can imagine. We're calling them the Sunday commentators of our digital age. But who are they really? And maybe more importantly, what does their rise actually tell us about the world we're all living in online?
So a team of sociologists actually came up with the perfect name for this person, and they borrowed it from Italian, the social star della porta accanto. It literally means the social media star next door. And isn't that just perfect? It nails that really strange mix of, everyday familiarity and constant nonstop performance that basically defines our social feeds today.
Right, so this star next door, that's who we're going to focus on today. You know the type, I'm sure you do. The person who somehow has an expert opinion on finance and politics and marketing and, oh yeah, the latest hit TV show, all before they've even had their morning coffee. They are the absolute fixtures of our feeds, especially on places like LinkedIn and X. So what we're going to do is pull back the curtain on this whole galaxy of voices. We're going to use the super sharp insights from researchers to explore not just who these people are, but what their very existence tells us about the platforms we use every single day. And, maybe even a little something about ourselves. These personalities, they didn't just appear out of thin air. Not at all. To really get a handle on them, we have to look at the stage they're performing on. And here's the core argument from the research. The social media platforms themselves have fundamentally, completely changed. They did not start out this way. Their entire purpose has transformed. Just think about it for a second. What was the original promise of these platforms? It was pretty simple: to inform and to connect. A pretty noble goal, right? But now look at the reality we're in. The source material has this fantastic phrase for it: palcoscenici della chiacchiera digitale. That translates to stages for digital chatter. So they've gone from being a kind of town square for ideas to a really noisy, chaotic theater of performance.
Okay, so if our feeds are now just these big stages for digital chatter, what is that chatter actually made of? What are the ingredients? Let's dissect the noise, let's break it down, because understanding what's in it is really the first step to making sense of this whole environment that, let's face it, we're all swimming.
Well, the research gives us three really brilliant concepts to help us out. First, you've got the archetypi umani, the human archetypes that we see over and over. But the two concepts that are really powerful, the ones we're going to dig into, are trash da tastiera, which means keyboard trash, and narcissismi algoritmici, or algorithmic narcissism. These are the game changers.
So what exactly is keyboard trash? Think of it like this. It's all that low-quality, super high-volume stuff that's designed for one thing and one thing only: to get a reaction. It's the hot takes with zero substance. It's those performative arguments you see in the comments. It's the endless recycling of outrage. This is the static, the noise that just completely drowns out the actual signal. It replaces real, reasoned discussion with just empty debate.
And what's the engine driving all this keyboard trash? Well, it's something called algorithmic narcissism. And this is crucial. It's not just about some people having big egos. No, this is systemic. The platforms themselves are literally, and I mean literally, designed to reward the most attention-grabbing behavior. The more you perform, the more you posture, the more the algorithm pushes your stuff out there. It's this vicious feedback loop where being self-obsessed isn't just encouraged, it's actively amplified and rewarded by the machine. So let's recap. We've got these online stars, right? They're performing on these stages of digital chatter, and the whole thing is powered by algorithmic narcissism. The big question is, so what? Why does any of this matter once we put our phones down? Well, it matters because this entire system is actively reshaping us. It's painting this really lively but also, frankly, pretty unsettling portrait of our society.
First up, reputation. Our whole idea of what a reputation even is, it's completely transforming. I mean, it used to be built on what you did in the real world, right? On your actions, your character. But now it's increasingly shaped by your online performance, by how well you can command attention and how good you are at playing that algorithmic game.
And that warping of reputation, it leads to an even deeper shift, a transformation of our actual identity. Think about it. when we are constantly, 24/7, performing for an online audience, curating our lives for likes and for shares, how does that not change how we see ourselves? It's a serious question. Who are we when the screen finally goes dark?
And finally, all of this comes to a head in the transformation of public debate itself. The source has a powerful phrase for this too, the deriva dell'informazione. It means the decline or the drifting away of information. When all that digital chatter is what dominates, meaningful conversation just gets shoved to the side. Debate stops being about finding truth, and it just becomes about scoring points in a virtual arena.
And this really brings us to the core tension of our digital lives. And this quote just captures it perfectly. We are in bilico tra protagonismo quotidiano e deriva dell'informazione. We're poised, balanced on a knife's edge between being the main character every single day and the slow, steady decline of real information. We all get to be the star of our own show. But the research is asking a tough question. What's the cost? What's the cost to the quality, to the integrity of our shared reality?
I know this all feels huge, right? Kind of abstract. But this isn't just a story about platforms or algorithms or those other people online. It's about us. It's about all of us. So let's bring the focus right back down to earth, right back to you and me, the people who are actually doing the scrolling, the liking, the commenting, the posting. What is our role in this whole system? So it's really worth asking yourself, in this giant digital theater we've been talking about, on these stages that are built for chatter, what part are you playing? Are you one of the actors, competing for that spotlight? Are you part of the audience, just sitting back and consuming all the drama? Or maybe you're a critic, trying to step back and make sense of the whole thing. The honest truth is, we're probably all a little bit of each, aren't we?
Now, all the insights we've talked about here come directly from a book called I Commentatori della Domenica by Alberto Maestri, Gloria Rosselli, and Giorgio Triani. It is a truly fascinating deep dive into our modern digital lives. So if any of this sparked your curiosity, that book is a fantastic place to go to learn more. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.